Have you ever caught your cat tilting its head at you and thought, "What on earth are you thinking?" Well, turns out that adorable little move might be more than just a cute quirk. Believe it or not, there's a whole hidden language behind it. And here's the twist. Not all head tilts mean the same thing. Spoiler alert, it's not just about being curious, and trust us, it's not just for show. That tilt could reveal something deeper, something you've probably missed before. Curious? You should be. Stick around, because we're about to uncover the real reasons behind that head tilt and why it means more than you think. Let's begin with number 15, the curiosity reflex. What if I told you that your cat's head tilt is actually a sign that they're trying to understand something you don't even notice? Yep, you heard it right. When they tilt their head, it's often because they're puzzled by something new or unfamiliar in their environment. Think about it. Just like when humans squint their eyes to better focus, your cat does the same thing with their head. They're processing and trying to figure out what's going on. It could be a new sound, an object they've never seen before, or even a change in their routine. Cats are incredibly curious creatures, and this head tilt is their way of saying, "Hold on, I need a second to figure this out." So, the next time you catch your furry friend tilting its head, know that they're channeling their inner detective. And who knows? There might be something intriguing happening right under their whiskers. But what could it be? Let's talk about tiny vibrations and why they demand your cat's full attention. Number 14, the sonic spy. Have you ever wondered what your cat is hearing that you can't? It's more than just sharp hearing, it's a finely tuned radar system. When your feline friend tilts their head, it's often because they're focusing on a tiny sound that's barely noticeable to you. Whether it's a faint hum, a buzzing, or a distant rustle, your cat is using that tilt to zoom in on the noise, just like we humans would turn our head to listen closer when something grabs our attention. Cats have a remarkable ability to detect high-frequency sounds, which means they can hear things we can't even imagine. This head tilt helps them pinpoint exactly where that sound is coming from. It's almost like watching a detective in action. Every small detail matters. But what about when your kitty tilts their head due to something they can't even see? Let's explore that next. Number 13, the phantom stare. Ever caught your kitty cat tilting its head at absolutely nothing? No bugs, no sounds, no movement. So when your cat tilts its head at nothing, they might not just be confused, they could be analyzing something invisible to you. And speaking of confusion, let's talk about why they sometimes tilt their head when they're just not sure about something. Number 12, the suspicious stare down. Have you ever caught your cat tilting its head at something and wondered, what's going on in their little mind? Well, you're not alone. Just like us humans scratch our heads when something confuses us, your feline friend uses their head tilt to show confusion. Whether it's a strange object, a new person, or even a new sound they've never heard before, that tilt means they're trying to process what's happening. It's like their brain is working overtime to figure things out, and they need a moment. Think of it like this. When you see something unfamiliar, you might raise an eyebrow or squint to better understand it. Cats do the same thing, just with their heads. This adorable reaction is one of the ways they try to make sense of the world around them. So next time your cat gives you that tilt, know they're just putting on their detective hat. But don't worry, we'll dig deeper into how your kitty investigates next. Number 11, the puzzled investigator. Ever wonder why your cat suddenly tilts its head like it's trying to solve a mystery? Well, that tilt could be their way of investigating something new in their environment. Just like a detective examining a clue, your feline friend is trying to make sense of something that caught their attention. It's not just about hearing a sound. Sometimes they need to gather visual information too. Think of it like when you see something strange and you can't help but tilt your head in curiosity, trying to figure it out. That's exactly what your cat is doing. Whether it's a strange object, an unusual movement, or even a new smell, they're simply evaluating the situation. It's their way of processing the world and deciding what's safe, strange, or simply worth investigating further. So next time you see that adorable head tilt, know they're just trying to crack the case. Which leads us to number 10, the you can't be serious. Look, ever noticed your cat tilting its head at something you did, almost like they're saying, "Are you serious right now?" Well, you're not imagining it. Cats tilt their heads when something feels totally out of the ordinary to them. It's their way of processing the bizarre, like when you pull out that strange new toy or make a weird noise. Much like humans, when we see something unexpected, we might give a confused look or even a slight head tilt. Cats do the same thing. This head tilt is their natural reaction to the unfamiliar, as they pause to evaluate whether what's happening is worth investigating or just a momentary blip in their routine. It's a way for them to assess the situation, almost like saying, "This is new, but I'll give you a second to explain." Stick around, because next we're diving into the ultimate focus mode of your kitty. Number 9, the lock-on mode. Ever wonder what's going on when your cat tilts its head? It's not just a cute quirk, it's focus mode activated. Cats are masters of concentration, and when they tilt their head, it's like they're tuning into something specific. Maybe it's your voice, the rustling of a bag, or the flutter of a bird outside. It's as if they're saying, "I'm locked in. Don't mess with me." Just like how humans might lean in when they're really paying attention, your feline friend is focusing all their attention on whatever has caught their interest. This isn't just a random head movement, it's their way of narrowing in on the details. Whether it's a familiar sound or something new, they're processing it, preparing for the next move. So next time you see that head tilt, remember, they're completely in the zone. Speaking of focus, let's talk about how cats check your body language. Number 8, the silent translator. Have you ever noticed your cat tilt its head when you're talking to them? It's not just a cute gesture, it's their way of decoding you. Cats are experts at reading human body language. When they tilt their heads, they're checking out your tone, movements, and facial expressions to understand exactly how you're feeling. They're trying to catch every little cue you give off, much like humans do when we're trying to understand someone better. It's their way of connecting with you on a deeper level, almost like they're saying, "Hey, I'm listening to you and trying to understand what you're all about." Cats aren't just curious about sounds or sights, they're deeply engaged with how you express yourself. So, the next time your kitty gives you that head tilt, know they're trying to catch the hidden message in your actions. Speaking of which, have you ever wondered if that tilt is a sign of affection? Let's talk about that next. Number 7, the "I adore you" tilt. Why do some cats look at you with that adorable head tilt, almost as if they're admiring you? It's not just curiosity, it's affection. When a cat tilts its head while looking at you, it's a sign of trust and emotional connection. Unlike humans who express fondness with hugs or words, felines have subtler ways of saying, "I like you." That little tilt, it's like a cozy lean-in, a gesture that shows comfort and attachment. This is especially common when your cat is relaxed around you. If they hold eye contact with soft blinks while tilting their head, that's their way of saying you're someone special in their world. But be warned, this behavior can Why does your cat give you that impossibly adorable head tilt? Is it curiosity? Or are they secretly plotting something? Believe it or not, that tilt isn't just for show. It's actually their way of grabbing your attention. Just like dogs tilt their heads when they're hoping for a treat, cats have their own version of this "look at me" tactic. Whether they want food, affection, or just a little acknowledgement, This charming maneuver is designed to make you focus on them. And let's be honest, it works. That little tilt is practically irresistible, and your cat knows it. But here's the fun part. Some cats even learn to do it more often if they notice you respond every time. It's like a button they can press to get you to stop whatever you're doing and give them attention. Speaking of attention, have you ever noticed how your cat seems completely fascinated by you? Well, that's because, number 5, you're the star of the show. Why does your cat act like your biggest fan? Have you ever caught your cat just watching you? Not in a creepy way, but with that cute little head tilt, like they're completely captivated by your every move? That's because, in their world, you're the most interesting thing in the room. Unlike humans, who can zone out while scrolling through their phones, cats are wired to study movement and behavior, especially yours. They're not just being nosy. They're observing, learning, and maybe even trying to predict what you'll do next. That adorable head tilt? It's like them saying, "Go on, I'm listening." Whether you're talking, cooking, or just pacing around, your cat is mentally taking notes. And if something suddenly catches their eye elsewhere, that's a whole different kind of curiosity. Speaking of which, why do they suddenly tilt their heads towards seemingly nothing? Let's talk about that next. Number 4, the "what's going on over there?" Look, why do cats tilt their heads as if they're eavesdropping on a secret conversation? It's not just cute, it's strategic. Your feline has incredible peripheral vision, but sometimes it's not enough. When something moves just out of sight or a strange noise comes from another room, that head tilt helps them pinpoint exactly what's going on. Think of it like when humans lean forward and squint at something in the distance. We're trying to focus, and so is your cat. But here's where it gets interesting. Cats don't just use their ears and eyes. They use their whole head to get a better sense of their surroundings. It's an automatic adjustment, like fine-tuning a radar. And if they're staring right at you with that adorable tilt, they might not just be observing. They could be trying to understand you. Speaking of which, what if your cat actually thinks you're talking in their language? Let's get into that next. Number 3, the "are you speaking my language?" Think about it. When someone speaks to you in an unfamiliar language, you naturally focus harder, looking for clues in their expressions and tone. Cats do the same. Your voice is a puzzle, and their adorable head tilt is part of the decoding process. And if your kitty tilts their head while purring or blinking slowly, that's even better. Because up next, we're talking about one of the sweetest signs of feline happiness. Number 2, the blissful tilt. Why do some cats tilt their heads when you pet them, while others just melt into a puddle of purrs? That adorable little tilt isn't random. It's a full-body expression of bliss. When your feline angles its head while you scratch just the right spot, it's like them leaning into a warm hug. It signals pure joy, comfort, and trust. Think about it. Humans close their eyes and sigh when something feels amazing. Cats? They tilt their heads, letting you know. Right there, don't stop. It's their way of deepening the experience, savoring every second of that magical chin rub or ear scratch. And if they slow blink while doing it, that's like a cat's version of saying, "I love you." But what about those times when their head tilt isn't about pleasure, but puzzlement? That's a whole different story, and it might mean your cat is analyzing something completely unexpected. Number 1, the "what's that weird thing?" Tilt. Why do cats tilt their heads like that? Are they confused, curious, or judging your life choices? Well, when a feline suddenly cocks its head to the side, it's their way of analyzing something that just doesn't make sense to them. Maybe it's a weird new object in the house, a sound they've never heard before, or even a small change in your daily routine. Unlike humans, who might frown or squint in confusion, cats use their whole body, ears, whiskers, and yes, that adorable head tilt to gather more information. It's like their version of zooming in on a mystery. And here's the fun part. Depending on their personality, this could be followed by cautious investigation or a dramatic, unimpressed walk away. So now you know, your cat's head tilt isn't just adorable, it's a tiny window into their thoughts. Whether they're analyzing a strange sound, showing curiosity, or even trying to hear you better,